Kevin, maybe let's start just with the acquisition of David Riddick. Was it a bit of a scramble today, or was it something that you were anticipating you might have to do?
Well, you obviously you make your lists and you look at them, and when you get a chance to to finally chat with the different people in the marketplace and understand where the what their desires are with respect to compensation, and see if it matches what you have in your box for that, and you kind of go through that process. We're happy with the acquisition. I think it's a veteran backup netminder that has had some experience in a bigger role, but is hungry to push and to to prove. And but he's also understands he's there to support as well and work, and so again, a good veteran player.
So just to back up the truck, though, were you ever close with Eric? Like, was the 1.8 too prohibitive for you?
Yeah, Eric, I guess, is the only one that can answer if we were close with our offer. We did stretch, on our offer with respect to finances, and obviously he I think a little bit for him is the role. That's what we heard. The opportunity to expand his horizons.
Was it a mistake to not get him the games at the time this year, so you would retain him as an RFA instead?
Yeah, so if we retained him as an RFA, I don't know that we would have been able to actually QO him, because his arbitration case probably would be a little too rich for what we would have been able to to spend. You look at our cap situation right now, and sure, it looks like you've got a lot of cap space, but once you factor in getting PL done, and getting obviously Apple's got arbitration, and Harks has arbitration, all those guys have arbitration, right? So you kind of put the money in the boxes and guess a little bit when it comes to where you think that's going to be at, and once you get all those, the money does go pretty quickly.
Kevin, we saw some teams move out some players to create cap space ahead of today. You guys didn't do that. Can you comment? Is that something that you had looked at potentially doing to open up some cap space? And could you do that?
You looked at a lot of different things. I think obviously we sat down and had conversations with Bones and Arnie and the group, and went over our team and what they liked about it, what they're excited about, where maybe there's challenges and stuff like that, and they were comfortable with with the group that we have here, and obviously we're still working on a few things on the free agent side of it here as we speak. Hopefully some of those things come to fruition, but it's one of those things where sometimes things happen fast, sometimes things happen slow on free agent day.
You talked about qualifying offers. You didn't qualify Evgeny Svechnikov a couple days ago. I understand his would have been around the 900,000 mark. Can you just explain maybe the thought process behind not qualifying him?
Yeah, so sometimes what happens is the player's ARB is gets to be too much. Kind of similar situation there, where when you arbitration basically takes in a set of players, so from different factors, and each guy is different. So when you run the group of players that's out there, sometimes the qualifying offer is one thing, but what the ARB award might be another. And again, we also have to look at maybe what opportunities are out there for other players. We think Cole Perfetti is going to play a big role on this team. Morgan Barron, came in, showed what he could do. There's, obviously some opportunities there for some younger players. Unfortunately, Gustafsson, every time he was getting his chance last year, got hurt. But again, players that within our organization, sometimes you tend to maybe not remember them on free agent day.
On the topic of younger players, how do you envision some of the young defensemen that you have in the organization? I mean, short of a run of injuries right now, it doesn't seem like there's a clear path for some of those guys immediately because of what you have signed. I mean, is that an issue that you're looking to address?
I think the bigger issue is when you don't have enough defensemen, and I think when you don't have the opportunity for competition, I think that's the bigger challenge. And I think as an organization here, there's going to be obviously lots of competition. There's what you see on paper now, a month into the season, you just don't know, so I think that's a real good thing.
Is there an area of your roster, Kevin, now that you have a backup signed, that you are looking to bolster a position be in particular, whether through trade or free agency?
Yeah, so obviously, parlaying off of Mike's question, we think the defense is fairly solid there, and so certainly we're looking at, what are the options at forward, and again, there's types of forwards, there's, different things that we're looking at, maybe hopefully to still address in free agency.
Is it particularly on the wing, or do you want someone that can play both wing and center?
Well, I think anytime a player has that, kind of Swiss Army, type of, ability to play different positions, I think in a cap world, I think that's important. But, again, you look at what's out there and you see if there's a good fit. Certainly the wings are an important part of where we're, trying to get to here. But, again, having the ability to play different positions, I think you're seeing that a lot more in a lot of players and giving teams that opportunity to, like I say, in a cap world, when a team is close to the cap, that's important.
Your coaching staff is comfortable with the group you have. Are you comfortable going in without changes into the next year if Blake stays, Pierre stays?
Yeah, it's pretty. It's interesting. Like last year, we're sitting here at this time. We make the trades for the two defensemen. Everyone's putting us on the already putting the engraving the names on the Stanley Cup. And I think the year before, I think the year of 17-18, I think I was probably having somewhat similar conversations. At the free agent time, and everyone was kind of looking at us like, where are you? So there's a lot to prove. The players, again, have a lot to prove to themselves, and I know the coaching staff is excited about that.
Sorry, just to ask the question again. I mean, are you comfortable? Yeah, okay.
Paul Stastny, is that a door that you'd consider closed? He hasn't signed with anybody, but...
Yeah, we talked with Stas's group here today. I don't think any doors are closed, but, again, I think, whether he has options or, choices and that, that'll be up to him, I guess. But I guess you just never say never with him.
He did an interview recently where he said he wants to go to a team that he believes can contend. Would you almost take that as a slight? Because I take it you believe this is a team that can contend, right?
Well, again, I think he's going to want to look at his opportunities. He's going to want to look at opportunities for his family, opportunities for his play, opportunities financially as well.
Kevin, with respect to your salary cap situation, how important is it to get clarity on those three players with salary arb rights?
Well, again, anytime you can put a ink instead of pencil on your balance sheet or your spreadsheet, so to speak, in the summertime, is important. But we'll chip away at them as we go. We have good ideas of where the numbers should be, and that's what Larry does a good job with.
What's the timeline for getting that resolved then?
Well, right after free agency, you start to go into that. Obviously, qualifying offers are open for acceptance. Today there's deadlines for filing of arbitration. There's different processes that are just normal summer processes with respect to RFAs.
Almost talked about being harder to play against. Is that something that? Sorry. Rick talked about you guys needing to be harder to play against. Is that an element that you still feel can be addressed?
I think it's a style of play too. I don't know that it's necessarily with respect to go out and sign player X because that's they're harder to play against. I think it's a style type of thing that certainly Rick is talking about, and again, the style of game that Rick wants to play is that kind of a game. It is a harder game. It's a more checking game. It's a more pressure type of takes time and space away type of game. So that makes you harder to play against.
Starting report on Kevin Stenlund.
So Kevin's been someone that we've kind of been looking at in the Columbus organization for a long period of time. He had a knee injury. He got that rectified now, and so he's someone that was always kind of scratching on the door. Made some good strides there. Got into I think it was the playoff bubble. For Columbus, a big body. Kind of a two-way type of centerman that can be intriguing because he's got lots of skill, and hopefully now that the knee injury is hopefully behind him, that he'll put on a good show.
Kevin, the work you have to do with the RFAs you have now, Were you expecting to be patient today? And if not, how did your day go? Did you feel lots of calls? Did you get close? Like,
Well, like I say, we're still working on a few things. So I said to Brownie, I said I can go, but I don't know if something's going to happen or not happen here, as the day goes on. So we'll see how some of those things, play out. But there's certain markets that we were shopping in. There's certain markets that obviously, we don't have the ability to shop in based on our cap space.
I was wondering what you thought of like the day in general. I don't know if you caught other teams, but there was lots of money spent. Is it
Purposely, I stay off, off of any type of, television or anything like that. On days like this, the guys, fill you in as it kind of goes on. But it's a fast moving day in the sense that you're making calls, you're making offers, and then you sit and wait. So sometimes you have to field calls and take calls of other teams or teams players, and say, look, I'm in something, I got to wait. And then you circle back and maybe that player's there, maybe that player's not. So that's the the timing of things sometimes on a day like this is tough as well.
So just the messages right now then for the fan base or whatever that isn't seeing a lot of change, but it's obviously come out of a tough year, wants to see something change. It seems like the message is this team can be better under a different coach, which you have now. Is that sort of where it is? Because I imagine, given the situation with the cap right now, you can't make a huge move.
Yeah. So again, it's funny. There's, I think you go back. We started off the day this morning looking at some of the signings 6 and 7 years ago, and most of those guys are either being bought out or not in the league, and or still gonna making some money. So it's an interesting day free agency. For some teams, they spend big money and maybe can regret it in a few years. For others, I know their approach is they kind of keep it internal and go from there. Like, for us with respect to some change, I think you're going to see a much expanded role for a guy like Cole Perfetti. I think you're going to obviously from our defense standpoint, I think there are 3 good young defensemen there that are going to challenge each other to get better. I do think that again the changes that are made on the coaching side, you're going to see a different style of play with respect to to the team itself. And so there's sometimes you've got to be careful about what thinking about what you don't have as opposed to what you have, and go from there.
Brendan, Dylan, just one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask on the coaching staff if there was any update. We asked you at the draft last week about any other assistants or where that's at.
Yeah, and I know Rick's been working on that, and he's been wanting to get my attention on that, and we've kind of he's on the calls right now, but it's we've got his attention on some different things, so nothing yet to announce on that. So
do you expect Brendan Dillon to be back
Yep.
next year? You do?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin.